There's a reason why casinos make billions while people lose everything. It's not luck, it's psychology. The slot machine doesn't reward you every time, and that's exactly why you can't stop pulling the lever. Now, what if I told you the top 1% of attractive people use this exact same principle to make others completely addicted to them? They've discovered something most people will never understand. Predictable affection kills attraction, while unpredictable attention creates obsession. Today, I'm going to reveal the slot machine effect in love and how you can ethically use intermittent reinforcement to become utterly unforgettable to anyone you desire. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why that person who texts back immediately loses their appeal, while the one who takes hours to respond drives you crazy? It's not an accident. Your brain is hardwired to crave what it cannot predict. Neuroscience has proven that dopamine, the chemical of desire, spikes highest not when you get the reward, but when you're uncertain if you'll get it. This is intermittent reinforcement, and it's the most powerful psychological force in human attraction. The person who masters this becomes magnetic, while everyone else becomes forgettable. The difference between being someone's obsession or their afterthought comes down to understanding this one principle. Here's what most people get dangerously wrong. They think being available, responsive, and consistent makes them attractive. They answer every text within minutes. They're always free when their crush calls. They shower them with constant compliments and attention, and then they wonder why the passion dies within weeks. What they don't realize is they've turned themselves into a vending machine, predictable, reliable, and utterly boring. Your brain doesn't release dopamine for guaranteed outcomes. It releases dopamine for mystery, for the chase, for the possibility of reward. When you're always there, always available, always predictable, you've removed the very ingredient that creates addiction: uncertainty. Now, let me show you how the top 1% flip this script entirely. In the first 2 weeks of dating someone new, they create what I call the golden pattern. They'll have an amazing date, deep conversation, laughter, chemistry, and then they disappear for 3 days. Not because they're playing games, but because they understand that the memory needs time to marinate in the other person's mind. During those 3 days, that person is thinking about them constantly, replaying moments, checking their phone, wondering what they're doing. The dopamine is surging. The addiction is forming. Then, just when the uncertainty peaks, they reappear with warmth and attention, creating an emotional high that feels better than any drug. This is where most people panic and ruin everything. They think, but won't they lose interest if I don't text back? Here's the secret. High-value people don't lose interest in mystery. They become consumed by it. Low investment people might move on, but those are exactly the people you don't want anyway. The right person will find your unpredictability intoxicating. They'll start to wonder about your life, your other options, what makes you so confident that you don't need constant validation. You've just positioned yourself as the prize, not the pursuer. And here's the beautiful part. You're not lying or pretending. You're genuinely living a life so rich that you're not desperately waiting by your phone. Let's talk about the second phase, variable ratio reinforcement. This is the exact mechanism that makes slot machines so addictive, and it's devastatingly effective in relationships. After you've established the initial pattern, you start varying your responsiveness unpredictably. Sometimes you text back in an hour, sometimes in 5 hours, sometimes immediately. Some dates you're fully present and affectionate, other times you're slightly distracted with your own ambitions. The key word is unpredictable. Their brain can't form a pattern, so it stays in a constant state of anticipation. Each time they hear from you becomes a little dopamine jackpot. They never know what they're going to get, so they stay hooked, always hoping for that next hit of your attention. Now, I know what you're thinking, isn't this manipulation? And here's where we need to draw a crucial line. Manipulation is using these techniques to exploit someone for selfish gain while pretending to care. What I'm teaching you is how to maintain your own value and create genuine attraction by not becoming emotionally desperate. The healthiest relationships actually have natural, intermittent reinforcement. Both people have full lives, ambitions, and moments of independence. The problem is most people in the early stages of dating abandon their lives and become completely available, which triggers the other person's subconscious to devalue them. You're not manipulating anyone. You're simply refusing to devalue yourself by becoming predictable and over-available. Here's a real-world example of how this works. Sarah met Jake on a dating app. Their first date was electric, 4 hours of conversation that felt like minutes. Most people would text that night saying, "I had an amazing time," and start planning the next date immediately. Sarah waited 2 days, then sent a simple text. "That was fun. Let's do it again sometime." No heart emojis, no desperation, no over-explaining. Jake had spent those 2 days obsessing over her, wondering if he'd said something wrong, replaying their conversations. When her text came, the relief and excitement he felt was intoxicating. She just activated his reward circuit in the most powerful way possible. 3 months later, Jake told her he'd never felt so strongly about someone so quickly. The third principle is what I call strategic withdrawal of attention. Once you've established a pattern of closeness, occasionally pull back slightly, not in a cold way, but in a naturally busy way. After several dates where you've been warm and engaged, mention you've got a busy week coming up with work or personal projects. This creates what psychologists call relationship anxiety, but in a productive way. The other person suddenly realizes they might lose access to you, and their interest intensifies. They start reaching out more, investing more effort, thinking about you more. You've just shifted the power dynamic without saying a single manipulative word. You've simply reminded them that you're a person with value, options, and a life beyond them. Now let's discuss the maintenance phase, because this is where most people either lose the spark or build something extraordinary. Once you're in a committed relationship, intermittent reinforcement doesn't mean playing games. It means maintaining your individual identity. The couples who stay passionate for decades are the ones where both partners remain slightly unpredictable. They have their own friends, hobbies, ambitions, and moments of independence. They don't share every thought, every feeling, every moment. There's still mystery, there's still space, there's still the delicious uncertainty that made them fall in love in the first place. The moment you become completely transparent, completely available, completely predictable, is the moment passion begins its slow death. Here's the most counterintuitive truth about intermittent reinforcement. It actually creates deeper security, not less. When someone knows you're choosing them despite having options and a full life, their trust in the relationship deepens. They're not with someone desperate who clings because they have nothing else. They're with someone valuable who consciously chooses them every day. That's incredibly attractive and stabilizing. The insecurity only comes when you're inconsistent in your core values or your care. That's just being unreliable. But being unpredictable in your availability, while consistent in your character, creates the perfect storm of attraction and security. You become both the excitement and the safe harbor. Let me give you the practical blueprint to implement this starting today. First, establish your own life as your primary source of fulfillment. Work, hobbies, fitness, friendships. This isn't pretend, this is real. Second, in the early stages of dating, create space between interactions. Don't text constantly. Let 24 to 48 hours pass between dates in the first month. Third, vary your response times and emotional intensity unpredictably. Fourth, occasionally be the one to end the conversation or date first while it's still going well. Fifth, never explain your unavailability with elaborate excuses. A simple, "I've got a busy few days," maintains mystery. And finally, pay attention to their investment level. If they're pursuing you more, you're doing it right. Here's your final truth. The slot machine effect in love isn't about making someone suffer or withholding your genuine feelings. It's about understanding that human beings are wired to value what requires effort to obtain and to dismiss what comes too easily. You can be deeply caring, authentic, and kind while still maintaining the mystery and independence that keeps attraction alive. The most magnetic people aren't the ones who love the hardest. They're the ones who love from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. They give their attention as a gift, not as a desperate bid for validation. Master intermittent reinforcement, and you'll never again wonder why someone lost interest. You'll be the one they can't stop thinking about, the one who lives in their mind rent-free, the one they choose above all others. Now, go become unforgettable.